Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing today? Hey, Phil, down on Maker, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing well there, my friend. Just sitting here reading your comment real fast. So, how about this? We were gonna start the next phase of the Unimog cabin, and we're already gonna have to skip a step and print some parts, but that's okay. I know I have them ready to go. I just need to print them out. We can get that next time. It'll be an easy. I think it's an easy thing. Well, maybe not. Anyway, hope everyone's doing well. Hey, Eagle the Dragon, how are you doing? Business is doing good. Just got payment on an order finally. And, oh, you know what? I actually do have the parts. I just missed the bag. So we just had an order that got completed for about $3,500 worth of filament. So that's going to be fun to deal with. Need those. We'll probably need a bunch of them. So we'll just leave this spattered out here on the table. All right. So, hey, a bit nuts. How's it going? Still breathing more or less? Yep, there you go. Still breathing. The headache is real right now. I'll tell you that. It's been a crazy long day. The weather's rolling in, and we're about to get some major storms tonight. But yeah, we'll do a little bit of building, and hopefully we don't have any power loss tonight or anything. But yeah, just tired, but doing good. So yeah, we're going to continue on with the cab build. Like I said, at the end of last stream, we've got the beginnings of the cab going together here. We're just going to keep working our way through it. I have not gone through and done the setting up the controller with the steering stops for the front and rear wheels. So until I do that, I can't go and do, I can't put the wheels on. So I need to do the steering stops first. No, it wasn't your bad Tinkercad that gave me a headache. Now we did print some parts today for a customer, and so normally when you make threads, they're supposed to thread together and not be the reverse of each other so that they don't thread together. So we need to do some rework there. Eel Diesel's going to work on that tonight and tomorrow. But yeah, the saga continues there. So we're going to keep going here on the cabin assembly. We've got our cabin pieces. Once again, this particular cabin is being done with PETG khaki for the matte khaki for the panels or the body work. And then the interior cloth, we'll say, is this, I believe this is Latte Brown from Bamboo Lab. This is a matte Latte Brown. Put in a whole house generator about 9 months ago. We always had power outages. Not one freaking blink since it was installed. Exactly. That's how it works, isn't it? All right, so we've got our, this is the front visor console piece. We're going to start by adding the radio over here. So we've got some really cool pieces here. Now we probably could have gone in and like made the face plates, you know, colored them and done some additional multicolor printing on here. But it's good enough. It's good enough. And it's cool the way they designed it because the screw heads themselves basically turn into like the knobs on the radio. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, but work's been fun. We've got the Rambler. A little ruggedness is good. Exactly. Exactly. I've been watching a guy, KJ Off-Road on YouTube. Okay, go check him out. He's in Denmark, and he does a lot of content on Unimogs. In fact, folks, I'm going to actually set this down here because I still haven't taken care of the beard yet, and I don't want to start causing any clipping or weird. And we will be squaring that part. Okay, so now we're going to have this middle, it almost feels like a visor, but it's not. It goes right here in the middle. Again, M2 by 8. Okay, and now we're going to put in the actual like flip down visors. We'll have 3 of them. It's going to tell you to do the middle one and then do the other 2. I'm going to go through and do them all in one shot. Good thing you have a shop that you have space for that. Someone has been talking to me about the Mog type vehicle. Bends in the center of the frame for turning. Yeah, there's a couple of vehicles that I'm interested in also doing from Elvis RC and their 8x8s. So yeah, that would be really cool. But yeah, I was actually looking today. We're still waiting to hear from Hector over at Fabrico about whether or not he's getting in any of the Bisect Venture XLs, and I haven't heard from him. And I'm starting to. Evil Diesel made a comment today about maybe needing something that'll do 700 on an axis. So if we wind up doing that, then the Venture tap out because it'll be 600 by 600 by 600. We may wind up having to go with, you know, like a VHO or something, but I need something, you know, I've got to figure out what the total requirement is, because if it's doing stuff that requires a heated chamber, then even an enclosed VHO, like Tronxy VHO, won't do it, I don't think, because I'm just worried about it being able to get up and hold temp. Of course, once you go past that, you start going like, oh, look at ModX, you're talking like 10 grand. Well, yeah, and I know there was issues with the electronics, and that wouldn't be an issue because I wouldn't use their electronics anyhow. In talking with Hector and a couple of others, the motors and everything are good, but I would swap out the most likely the tool head and the, oh gee, swap out the tool head and all of the back end electronics for like a, I don't know, a Big Tree Tech Kraken. All right, so, and the way this is going to go in here, turn this around. We're going to put this in there so that the radio and this middle, whatever visor piece, because these would be the flip down visors. So it's going to go in there like that. And most likely, I'm going to say going to use a M2 by 16 or 20 or something like that. Look at that, M2 by 16. Sounds like you need a Pantheon printer. Like I said, it depends. And here's the problem. When you start getting into that size, they start being delivered on pallets. So I have a standard size front door. Now I do have a sliding door in the back, but the problem is the courtyard back there is, yeah, it's about like a 3-foot drop. And, you know, we've got some concrete stairs and stuff, so we would basically have to have it pulled up, dropped at the back, uncrate it, have at least 4 people most likely pick it up and kind of walk it in or load it down. It's not going to be easy or fun. Okay, now we're going to deal with our inside piece. So this is going to be the headliner for the roof. We're going to be putting in the, for lack of better terms, oh shit handles, or the handles that help people of size and girth get in and out of things. Ooh. Yeah, it's more of just trying to figure out what our overall requirements are, because I'm also, when I buy this, I'm going to buy once. I'm not going to buy, oh, let me get a 600. Oh, well, we're getting a lot of requirements in that need more, so let me then go get something else. I want to buy big once. Or I should say I want to buy super big once. Sorry, Miss Dragon, it wouldn't fit at the shop. We had to go get a different shop space. I mean, there are a couple of nice places right down the street that have finally got their renovations done. Dang it. Trying to sort out and get the screws that came in the kit versus the ones that I sell source that are different color and shade. If they're not visible, it won't matter, but if they're visible, then I want to try and use nice LDO screws. Okay. Squared away. Hey, look, do the one on the other side. Now we're going to place the ceiling. Need to check for the proper orientation. So cutout here allows for the vertical upright in the back panel to line up. So we're going to drop it in here. And once again, these holes right here go over the existing screw heads. Drop that in place. M4 by 12s. Goes the door lower. The courtyard itself is so, yeah, that's the thing is we'd have to make it easier for two people to get down and then bring it across, hold it. The other two people jump down and grab it and bring it in. Then we can sit it down and roll it in. It's just, it's going to be heavy, you know, one way or the other. So we're going to need bodies. Imagine having to make a bigger door to get your 3D print. Really exactly a bit. Has 1,470 millimeter wide access all the way from garage to workshop. All, exactly. What about the Orange Storm Giga? Well, and the thing with the Orange Storm Giga would once again be you're paying $2,000 for a printer that doesn't have an enclosure. There are kits, I believe, where you can enclose it. And then you're a $700 tool head. There are build plate options to help with that, but you're dealing with 400 by 400 build plates, and I believe it's basically the solution is hard mount it because trying to adjust all the springs is a nightmare. For an extrusion line, I have looked at building a custom built printer. Still not going to be cheap, but you know, it's at least something that I've done. Okay. So we need to slide the roof in. And I believe it is not 100% symmetrical. I think these mount points are, but this part of the roof, the gap's wider up here than back here, and I think it's the wider gap that goes towards the front based on the view, and it's going to slide in right on these rails here. Line that up. Go off a bit, not straight. Boy. There you go. Snap it on. Maybe we're just going to do Maybe we're just going to do this. Going to line it up on one side. Just snap it on. Then we can tighten it up the rest. Tips and tricks from those who know. All right, so we now have roof on our cab. Now we're going to put a together to make the back wall. We'll move those two. Those two. This might be not comprehending. I could have sworn I've seen that piece. All right, so anyhow, let me take a quick gander over here. I missed hear that. We'll find it later. Okay. So this centerpiece here, we're basically going to take these and create the center walls. The problem is it's going to tell you to do that and then install it here. And then everything else you're doing is coming in through the doors. And don't like that. It's going to have you basically build out the rear wall, install the windows, install the wall. We'll do that a little bit later, right? Boom, here. Install the wall, put your cabin together. Now it starts telling you to insert everything on the end. Doesn't make any sense to me because I can start taking things and trying to, do things like this, or I can simply go just like that. That seems pretty easy. Hey, Pete, how's it going? How's it going? Hey, Projects in Dad's Garage. How's it going, Alex? Hey, Kay Fegley. Well, and that's one thing that we wind up doing. One word, 4 words. How's it going, Avia? Hope you're doing well. Hey, Avia, we did finally get the stuff sorted out. Payment was made, and I hit the button over on the bamboo side. So when you come over this weekend to bring some more leaflet juice, I should have all of the shipping tracking numbers for you guys. So hopefully that'll work well. Okay, so this goes in. We're just going to put that in. We'll put the left side carpet in. Once again, we can try and run it in this way, or it's just feels easier that way. So this carpet for right now is basically getting locked in with the 2 side carpets, and then there's going to be a seat that'll go right down the middle. So in 2x12. Yeah, woohoo! Woohoo! Yeah, I was made the numbers for the day look good. There. Very good. Like personally, I would say, you know, get your seats together and stuff, and then put the center carpet in. Actually, I would start with the dash, do the front dash, then put your center carpet in, put your center seat in, because that'll hold that piece, and do both sides. Just makes life a little bit easier. Do the left, and guess what? We're going to do the right. So take this, drop it in, figure out where the hole is. Hey Jim, how's it going? You have the light LDO kit on the way. You're running plate 000 on a few printers to see how they do. And the print grind begins. Yeah, I had 7 total printers. I had 5, I had a Q2C, Q22, 2 Q2s, the +4, the max 4, and then the X1C and the Flash Forge 85X. And the 85X just did the TPU stuff, and the Max 4 only did the nylon, straight Overture Easy nylon for the gears. So that's all it did. So it played workhorse there. All right, so our carpets are in. Now we're going to put some seats together. So we'll have our pieces. This is probably not the right side. Let me go ahead and get these laid out. Side. All in 2x8s. Good. Yeah, this is a fun build. Really, really. I mean, I could also go down and see if I can't just grab that big printer from Ecovate. Or make them pay me the $700 for the tool head. So I think they have you do, yeah, they have you do one whole side and then come back and do the other side. Make it easier to do alignment. This is where I'm probably not going to pay attention to the manual because I'm going to build all 3 seats without moving the manual any. Not sure if it tells us to build all 3 seats or if it tells us to go through and build them one at a time and install it. Can't remember. So that was Good. That seat. So is everybody having a good day today? I feel like Projects in Dad's Garage. Am I like missing a lot of your streams, or have you not been streaming as much with the kids getting ready to go back to school? No, you should be streaming tomorrow night. How's everybody in Twitch land? You guys over there watching Polymaker stream? And if so, I'm trying to remember who they have on tonight. Carlos Fruity, that's it. Oh, that is done. Hey, Pez Liz, how's it going? Welcome, man. Welcome, welcome. Feel so bad. We've had so many meetings at work, and it's a lot of what we're dealing with right now is the all hands and stuff from the new VPs and everything based on the org alignment. And in fact, next Thursday, I will not be streaming because I will have mandatory fun. I have to go into the office and do, we've got all hands, an intern showcase, and then a all hands at one of the local like golf driving range things with food and drinks. Let me tell you, they're about to make me start drinking. All right, so you moved to Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturday evenings? All righty. Sounds good. And Friday is still the Maker Making podcast, right? Because that's the one that happens when we're doing our D&D stuff. Oh, and so for those of you that, yeah, podcast is still Fridays, yeah. So those of you that are tracking on the H2S issues that we're having, I need to reach out to Waters and crew to see if they have any more data points. But one of my guys, he was, I was printing fine with his printer here in the shop. That's what I told him. He said, nope, go ahead and replace the extruder anyhow. So we put a brand new extruder unit in it. Printed fine here. He took it home, tried to run some of his Sunlu filament, and ran into the same issue. So he couldn't get hold of me because I was in meetings, so he contacted Bamboo. Bamboo said, oh, it's probably moisture in your filament. Go dry your filament. So he dried his filament, and same issue, right? Continuous clogging, continuous blah, blah, blah. So he switched over, tried to roll a Bamboo, didn't have any problems. Now, the same file, the same Sunlu filament running over on a P1S worked perfectly fine even before drying. So this is an issue that I am starting to see and piece together between the older machines, X1, P1, and the newer generation of the H2, X2, and P2 series that have the servo motor extruder. Because there's a servo motor on the extruder that's checking for feedback, and of course it's a closed loop feedback system, as well as a load cell between the extruder housing and the top of the hot end. So it's checking stuff there. Retrack is different, but also the profiles are drastically different. So bamboo filament has a 21 millimeter per second flow rate. There is no Sunlu profile for the H2 series. The old Sunlu profile was capped at 10 or 12 millimeters cubed per second. I can't remember which. And filament density numbers are slightly different as well. See. Oh, look, they did tell me to build. It wants me to put the middle seat in, which goes in straight with no riser. I will go ahead and do it. What the hell? We're gonna put this seat. The 2 by 12. 2 by 12. I'm having a day. Yeah, I think the issue is in the sensing, because what it's doing is it's throwing a, we'll say, preemptive error. Okay, it's trying to prevent you from damaging the servo motor. There'll be fundraising on Friday night. Okay. Joel's on vacation. It's a recording. Just woke up from that. Been busy. Yeah, have lots of streams this week. Monday is the Prusa Core 1 Plus giveaway for Stand Up to Cancer. Well, there you go, folks. If you're looking for a Prusa Core 1, there's a good place to be on Monday. What's the actual issue they're seeing? Well, there's a couple of issues, and I think the one gentleman, it's too long of PTFE tube, and so it's not getting all the way to the tool head before the buffer in the back hits out. So I found some other things that we're going to try, but I don't want to keep throwing parts at it, right? The filament runout sensors are working and all that good stuff. So I think part of the issue with the one gentleman is PTFE tubes may not be fully seated, so they're catching a lip on the way through. That could be one thing. But then once it gets to the tool head, we're getting weird extrusion stuff, and it's throwing the error that it's that the extruder motor is overloaded. Right? It's not an AMS, it's the extruder motor that's throwing the error. So it's just, yeah, it's really weird. Really weird. All right. have the other parts here for the seat. In this case, we go with this piece first that has like the gray stuff. It's offset. So these will line up with our is an arrow, so just make sure that you line this up and go 1 to 1. 2 by 16s here. Wells and match. But yeah, it's something I want to chat with you guys more about when you're here this weekend, because make sure you put this on the right side. So these screws are going through the countersunk screw holes. Probably be a good idea to drill these out. Trying to go through everything, and I just used the wrong, well, I'm using the one on the other side. We'll get that. Yep. We'll do both of them. Yeah, that's the other thing. So what I've done is I've asked them both to bring in one of their filaments, because it could be that the filament itself is not consistent, right? It could be, oh, hey Tinkering Techie, how's it going? It could be that they've got out of spec filament, or I think bamboo is rated at plus or minus 0.02, and they could have a filament that's running plus or minus 0.05, right? So that could be part of the problem. The other part of it, like I said, could just be bamboo being bamboo, meaning they're nerfing everyone else's profiles and setting their firmware and settings to say, yep, no. They could, I don't think they've nerfed that motor, but they may have. It's just weird. Because I can take an orbiter and push 50 millimeters cubed per second PLA, no issues. So it's just really weird. So I'm just trying to collect more data points to try and figure out what the issue may be. Okay, so now we're going to take our other piece here, and once again, you're putting the screws through the countersunk side. This is going to be symmetrical to this part, so it wouldn't matter which side you go on. So how it goes, everything, Tinkering Techie? Get your stuff for your fifth tool head yet? Free heathen, how's it going, dude? How's it going? We've got 2 more seats done up, and I'm an idiot, but it's an easy fix. Direction matters here, folks. So these little details on the gray piece need to be towards the front of the seat. The good news is all I need to do is take and rotate this whole base set. That'll be an easy fix. Of course, the easier fix would have been to have it in the right direction from the get-go. There we go. So now we've got left and right. I'll go in there like that. Gonna tell me to mount those. Yeah. Like I said, they really should have you do the front before they have you do this. We'll do this. So what we're gonna do is we now have the big opening and then this slot in here. So it's gonna go over this little hump piece here. And then we're going to screw in from the side, and that's going to hold the seat in. Do that in 2x16 and 2x16. And like I said, the easier way to do this is because we didn't put the back panel on, we can just slide it in there like that, rather than trying to wiggle it around. How you doing tonight, Free Heathen? Mr. Dragon's doing good. Annoying because you was building along with me, or you want to be building along with me? All right, so both of our seats are in because you want to, yeah. Now we're going to start working on assembling our dash panel. So we'll have a few pieces. Dash, dash, dash. That's it. So we need the dash panel like this. It's got some turn knobs and doodads on there. And we're going to take this piece, got, you know, other details. And we've got some little ridges here, and this is a straight press fit. Now you could, if you wanted to, put some glue on there, but it's a pretty good press fit. I don't think it's coming. Like, it's fun to watch, but I like to play along. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Still playing with toys? Yep, Timor is still playing with toys. Did he work on the stealth changer today? Yes, he was working on the stealth changer. Did catch a little bit of it. Just ordered the last stock kit from West 3D this afternoon. Okay, along with the last parts to go 48 volt on all of the stepper motors. To include the tool heads or just 48 volts for like the standard steppers and then 24 volt for the tool head. Yeah, it's a pretty good click. It's not going anywhere. It's staying in there. Now we need to put some pins in here. And since it doesn't really matter, I did all the pins in our standard color or what have you. I'm going to put pins in here. And this side is going to get our, standard drop down dash panel and vent. Other side will get the steering wheel area and our odometer. Make sure you get it in the right direction. Clicky, clicky, clicky. Right? Now we need some of our off color. By off color, I mean our accent pieces. So, need this piece that has the two diagonal holes and these little split areas here. And we're going to take this end piece, line it up, and screw it on. So this panel is missing due to an error on the export of one of their plates. So they just had another plate added real fast to do this piece. We only going into the two holes that are diagonal here that have the little recesses. You ask, why is it tan? So this is the latte brown, matte latte brown, and this is Pet G matte khaki. Kind of trying to stick with some desert sand military coloring. Yeah, this is coming out really good. I really like this. All right, so on the bottom side of the dash, there's two pins here. So we're going to go ahead and put the last two pins in. And then this piece, we're going to line up those two pins and just snap them together like that. This is the larger section that's going to come in here, and we're going to do some M2 by 20s. Wow. M2 by 20. Yeah, that's a good reason. I mean, it's a reason. Good, could be bad. That's really why the heck not? All right, there we go. And let me guess, we're going to put the other one right next to it with more M2 by 20. Now we've got some end panels. This is where I could have thought through a little bit better. End panel. Panel piece. Found the piece I was looking for. All this other stuff out. I could have sworn I was just looking at those side panel pieces. I swear, gang, I'm losing it. This out. That. All right. Oh. So I have these in black. So we have the desert tan, we have the dark gray. I have these pieces here in black, which dark gray, black, will have black here for the front panel, gray for the steering wheel. What do you guys think? These look good with black in them, or should I reprint these in the dark gray? Everybody's thought. Be really great if they had a spot there where you could do a two-tone color if you're doing a two-tone color scheme. Vote for dark gray? You would. If we go for dark gray, I don't think I have these printed in dark gray, so I have to install those later. I believe I can get to them. I don't know. Once it goes in, I can't get to them. Finish building this out, and we decide to go gray. Might have to go black. Might have to go for black. We'll hold that thought for right now and go ahead and do the. So our little gear shift light, this gets installed on the dashboard, M2x16. Why? I have no idea. Boy. This could very easily have been a 12. Last little. Gear shift. We're going to put in the feet with our pedals in with M2x16s. Nice thing about these is your pedals are going across two panels down here. So it helps lock them in and lock everything in tight. It's just a nifty little feature that kind of pulls everything together and locks everything in. Do the column with M5x25s. Pay attention to the orientation. So the little slot up here has to be facing to the top. Now, we've got these two little oval pieces here. It would be great if there was a slight recess here just to help key this a little bit better. I mean, it is pretty much a nitpick, but it would be a little nice on that one. In the end, what am I going to be happy with? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, as it is, if I really wanted to go full military theme, there would be no gray here. It'd all be either matte black or that latte brown, desert tan. But, you know, we're doing it like, I think honestly for right now, so that we can continue and add this in, we're just going to go ahead and going to be locked behind the door anyhow. Not be that visible for the So I saw someone on Daniel Street, besides Steve Builds making a surprise cameo, that put up, there's a FPV camera that you can mount. It looks like it mounts in the driver's seat on a couple of servos. And it will actually like lean out the window and look down as if you're like driving it for real. So like when you're crawling, this is going to be used as a crawler for a lot of people. You would basically have this camera stick its head out and look down at the wheels as you're driving your vehicle. I was like, oh, that's pretty sick. That is pretty sick. Way overkill, not really needed, but pretty sick nonetheless. And I guess Hart K said he's got a module that basically, at the flip of a switch, you can change it from four-wheel steering, meaning where the front and rear axles move in opposite directions, to where they will move, where only the front will move like a standard vehicle, and you can also flip a switch and crab walk it, where front and rear axles turn in the same direction, move to left or right. I did reach out now, the link to that module. Need to add our dash panel in here. Once again, this would be pretty neat if I had gone in and, you know, did the little dial gauges in like white or red or something, just to make them pop a little bit. These go in 2x8 screws. So now that there's a few of us building these, like, what do you guys think about this? Is it overly complex? Is it not complex enough? What's everybody's thoughts on this? Insert the stock, this piece here in the center. By 8s on. What is everybody's thoughts? I think it's pretty awesome. I'm going to use M2 by 6. I'm going to line this up and do 1, 2, 3 around the back side just to lock this in together. Okay. Roomy. We've got the steering wheel now. $500 sticker shock he had made more sense when I saw the frame printed out shop a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, it's a very nice, highly detailed project. Really like the fact that it uses different materials based on function. Yeah, and that's the thing is the way that it's laid out, you can print the whole thing in PLA and just mess around with colors. Or as a lot of us have been doing, I know me and Nero or Canuck Creator and Modbot, we've used different filaments for the different pieces, right? So I used nylon for all of my gearing because I wanted the additional strength that nylon brings. And it also has, you know, not just strength, but also some lubricity of its own when you're dealing with gears and stuff. So kind of liked that idea. There. We've got a dash complete with pedals and all. How about that? And it's got options. I mean, so I'm going to take this, and for the most part, it's pretty easy to slide in there. We do have plenty of room. Kind of set this in here. Line it up. Kind of fits in there really well. Right? For the side-to-side play. We're going to use M4 by 16 screws. These are going to go through the little raised little knockout areas. So the heads here will be countersunk. and it might just be me, but I actually liked building the portal axles and all of that. I know you can go out and buy those, most of the axle pre-made and stuff like that, but to me this, oh, it's just cool building them all. Okay, so before we go and do the doors, we're going to go ahead and do that back panel. So we're going to back up some now that we got everything installed. And this is why I said, personally, I think we should have done the front dash first. Then we would put in, do the front dash, get that installed, put in the centerpiece, screw down the center seat, put in the left side, screw that in, left seat, right side, screw that in, set the right seat, screw that in. Now build the back and put the back on. I think that's a smoother operation where you kind of build that cab from the front to the back. And hell, you could have built all of this, then done the top pieces and closed the lid in. Why do we close this off and then start building and setting things on the inside, right? Do this, do the floorboards, then do the headrest, the top headliner, slide this piece on, now do the back, close the whole thing up. Just makes it easier to get in and work on. Get there. Promise, we'll get there. All right. So here is the piece that I couldn't find. There are 4 pieces. Now, there should be an arrow that defines the orientation. Okay? So that piece is going up, which means this is where we'd wind up doing this piece first. So it's going to be top 2, going to be all the way down at the bottom hole. Install it basically in 2x10s. Wow, that. Let's do the window for that side. And we're going to note that once again, we need to be going into the recessed hole outlet. And then this little notch goes towards the outside. That up in 2x10 again. All right, and now we're basically going to do the other side. Rinse and repeat. You already mentioned this to my bot, but him using the material for the gears may has caused some drama down the road when the dust. Exactly. So Canuck Creator did glass-filled nylon, and I think Daniel did, was it a carbon fiber filled nylon? I can't remember. And that's the problem. I wanted to make sure that I did not use any glass or carbon fiber filled material in the gearboxes. So the housings themselves are PLA, and then the gears were nylon, once again, to get the effects and the goodness of nylon where it mattered, right? So hopefully he doesn't have too many problems down the road, but he might. And I used the carbon fiber for the frame, and I've heard other people say that they chose not to do carbon fiber for the frame because they felt that it made it too rigid. I think somebody had done theirs in a carbon or glass build and then turned around and redid it as, I think they said, PCABS to, in some aspects, reduce the overall rigidity. Okay, so there we go. This is going to be the outer side. So this bar is on the inside. That's why there's a notch down here and a notch up here to account for that bar. Now, we're going to flip it over on its back like we just did. We're going to put in the frame. And you've got to look at your frame. So, you've got two pieces that appear to be the same size. This one is a bulkier, thicker piece. And the other one has that fillet on it. Fillet is the one that we want, the thin frame fillet. It's going to drop down in here and become that outer mastic window seal. Then we're going to go ahead and get all windows for, oops. Those windows. Inside came off. Felt like I didn't even look at it. One window in. And I didn't even think about it, but that's because my bot was having some gear meshing issues as well. So I wonder if that was some of his issues that he was running into on stream. Do the frame in PPS, yeah. That's going to be an expensive frame. All right, now we're going to take our other cabin window, and what I'm going to do is you've got the side that was against the build plate, which is base, slightly raised finish. I'm going to go ahead and do the side that was on the build plate. This was done on a like a cryo grip. So I'm going to want that nice pretty side on the outside, or visible side I should say. course, is there just like some little... I mean, that's going to go up against the wall, so it won't be noticeable at all, or shouldn't be. Same problem here. See it, but little pip right. Trying to take that off. This is a pretty tight fit. We got our frames put together. Now we're going to set this in place. Use a whole bunch of M2 by 10. And then once we get this done, we're going to call it a night. We're not going to continue on and do the doors just because my headache is not subsiding. And I'm going to try and get some sleep. We're just going to work our way around the perimeter here with M2 by 10. Pressure system caused a big headache. Yeah, that's basically, I think, what's going on. That, and I just have not been sleeping well. I've been staying up way too late, having to still get up way too early and not sleep. So we'll try and just head, when we get done here, we'll head straight home and try and get straight to bed. And like I said, I know there is a big storm that was rolling through here, so I think it's rained any yet, but it was dark and overcast, that's for sure. Trying to see how I was doing on the battery on the microphone. Last screw. All right, so hopefully, some point tomorrow, front window, we got our rear windows in, all of our interior laid in there. So hopefully sometime tomorrow, we can get some RC work done and get the endpoint set on the steering wheel, or the steering wheel, the front and rear wheels of the 6x6. And once we do that, we'll be able to mount the wheels. And then once we get done with the cab, we can actually mount the cab and stuff like that. We'll have a video running around. It'd be really, really cool to have a vehicle that we can start rolling around by this week. There's a total of 20 screws on that back panel to secure it in. Just scroll through all of this that we've already done. See where that puts. All right, so starting on the door, which is page 630 of 1008. So about halfway there. About halfway there. We still need to do the doors, get those mounted on there, and then we'll finish building out the front of the cab. Be cool, and then we can drop it right down on there. But yeah, folks, relatively short stream tonight, only about an hour and a half, I know. But like I said, I really do need to go and get a good night's sleep. Try and hit things running again tomorrow. Thank you everybody for being here. And, you know, if you're in the local area, please stop by the Dragon Den. We've been surprised by layer, which was really cool. You know, we love having everybody come by and stop by and see the shop in real life. So, yeah, I hope everybody has a great rest of your week. For those of you that are available, go see the Maker Making podcast tomorrow night. I believe Free Heathen will be on there with Projects and Dad's Garage and several others that are normal. Howie DeWitt, a few others. Thank you all for being out here this evening. Thank you for coming along this journey on this epic build. And we will see you all Saturday night. Have a great night. Bye now.